Hey guys, NSC Schizo here with Game Grunts, coming at you with another Fallout 76 video. And in this episode, I wanted to cover a couple things. But without getting too far into the video, I definitely wanted to touch on the fact that I look like Gragnot the Barbarian. Specifically, King Gragnot the Barbarian. The alter ego of Gragnot the Barbarian, the evil version, if I'm being specific. But either way, if you're gonna be any type of Gragnot the Barbarian, you're gonna need yourself a bow. And in this video, that's the exact weapon I decided to showcase to you guys. I've made myself a bow build, and I've gone ahead and RP'd as Gragnot the Barbarian, like I said, in Fallout 76. And for me, this is just a lot of fun. I've really been looking forward to the bow, and I was working my way up to grinding to this point, and I've of course watched a couple videos on other people who had made their own bow builds, and they just didn't seem to be happy with it. And so from what I can see, for the most part on my feed on YouTube, people just aren't giving the bow the love that I feel like it deserves. And I honestly think it's a good weapon. I'm gonna tell you some honest feedback about the weapon. Not everything about it is great, but in my opinion, it is a very viable PvE weapon. Now, I think it can be used for PvP. I'm not the guy to make that statement boldly. I'm not the biggest PvP player. I do PvP from time to time, but I gotta be honest, I'm not that great at it at all. But either way, I do think there will be some application for it in PvP at some point. I just don't think I know the answer to that. Now, PvE though, like I said, this thing is awesome. Now, if you clicked on my video hoping that I would tell you that the bow is a godlike object that will render your enemies impotent at the mere sight of you pulling out your weapon, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. And I hate to say you accidentally clicked on the wrong video, because I'm going to be straight up honest with you. The bow is a very viable weapon. It isn't the best weapon. If it is something that you're looking to get into in this game, then yes, it's a very good weapon. I've enjoyed it in the fact that it's not always, dare I say, on point. Although I heavily endorse the bow, I have to tell you there is a steep learning curve with the bow. It's a more refined weapon in the sense you have to really be a little bit more reserved. Take your time, then shoot your shot. Don't just, run around continuously, spamming right trigger and expect it to hit. You kind of gotta wait a second, give your character a chance to settle, and then shoot the shot. Really giving yourself a moment to kind of set up the shot per se, you know what I mean? Because you don't just want to keep spamming right trigger and expect it to land. Anything that happens when you get shot, when you get hit, when you're moving around, all those things really do affect your aim. So you kind of, to negate that, want to not really spam as much. And to me, I just, find that switching in between free aim and, every now and then throwing VATS in the middle of that really is more reliable. So I don't have as much as a problem. It was a learning curve. It was a weapon that I needed to get used to, because sometimes your enemy gets right up on top of you, all up in your face, and in those moments it's not great. So I recommend that you do have a melee weapon that is decent, at least, even if they're not a melee character. Have something that, if something gets on top of you, you'll be able to whip it out real quick and get them away from you. Around corners, it can be a little tricky. If you haven't had the chance to set up and you're getting rushed, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sprint backwards. Don't wait for everything to jump up on top of you and, smack you around. Run, and then position yourself somewhere where you can take the shot. Maybe take the nade real quick, and then bam, back in the fight. It's a weapon that you're going to have to learn how to use. It isn't just a weapon you can just run around and continuously just hold right trigger. And it's not a Tesla, okay? It's not gonna do all the work for you. You're gonna have to do some of the heavy lifting. But because of that, in my opinion, it has made the game a little bit more challenging. In those moments where people say, Fallout's a little bit too easy, this is a weapon that if you're looking to enjoy PvE a little bit more, I think this might be a great fit for you, especially if you're the type of person that loves to play with a bow in any other game. trying out in Fallout 76 probably won't be the worst thing. Now, specifically, what you're gonna want to have is obviously a bloody bow. Don't go getting any of the other legendary bows or walking around with a regular bow, okay, a non-legendary bow, and think that it's really not gonna do much. I'm using a 3-star bloody. Okay, I've got all the perk cards on, as you can see. Okay, I am not by any means halfwaying this. If you're going to build into this, you got to build all the way into it. All right. So if you're a melee character, you're thinking about this, you gotta put points into perception, because that's where it's at. And if you're a commando build, then you're in somewhat of luck, because all you're gonna have to do is switch out your current cards to the bow cards. Now, to be perfectly honest, there are definitely moments when I'm using the bow that it just feels like my concentration is not there. I've been flustered by the enemy. It looks like I'm about to get hit. And obviously, I'm a bloodied character, so I am just gonna take off running and try to grab some aid real quick. I might run into a wall or something weird, and it's really not that time to have the bow in my hand at that point. It really isn't reliable in that situation at all. So you kind of want to be aware of your surroundings at all times. It's one of those weapons that kind of makes you play reserve. If you don't play properly, you will be punished for it. And trust me, once you dig yourself into that hole with the bow, it's gonna be really hard to dig yourself back out, because that situation is almost guaranteed you might get killed, unless you got somewhere to jump high to so you can get out and then start shooting back. So you always want to kind of play with some sort of an exit strategy. If you don't know what's about to come up, then do what you can. If you do, however, get prepared, because the bow's definitely gonna require that you concentrate in the moment. Now, because of that, I feel like this weapon has added a level of risk to the game that wasn't currently there before. And although that might sound frustrating, honestly, on the contrary, I've had the alternate experience where it's gratifying to be able to master the bow and feel like I'm good with this weapon. And not anybody can just pick this thing up and be a master at it. Like, again, it's not a Tesla, okay? And I know I'm picking on the Tesla. I use the Tesla. I don't want to, down the Tesla too much. I know a lot of people don't like the Tesla. It's not my favorite weapon either, but I see why people use it, and I definitely do use it. But this, to me, is just a different type of weapon. It isn't that weapon that just, up and destroys everything. It's a fishing rod. And if you can't just be a fisherman just because you have a fishing rod. No, you have to actually learn how to use the equipment that you claim. In that regard, that's why I find the bow to be a very fun weapon, and when I do get it right, it's very gratifying to hit those shots and kill my enemies and get out of the situations that I think I'm probably not gonna make it through. Okay, guys, just to reiterate, if you're gonna run a bow, I recommend you at least try to get yourself a bloody bow. It packs a lot of punch. I'm sure that there are other bows. Check the junkies out. For me, I'm a bloody character, so straight the bloodies for me. But I'm sure that there are just situations where this thing is going to be just a pure monster. Okay, I hope you guys find this video informational. I hope this video helped you out, give you a good, clear answer exactly what the bow is. Guys, if you haven't had a chance to get this thing yet and you're working on it, keep it up. I recommend that you keep chugging that train along, because this thing is so much fun. It's one of the best weapons in the game, in my opinion, right now. I know I've been kind of beating it up here a little bit, saying it's not the best weapon, but in my opinion, it is a really, really good weapon. So I hope you guys get the chance to use the weapon yourselves and get to see exactly how much fun I'm having with it, because to me, this is one of the best additions of the Wastelander DLC so far. I haven't had a chance to get my hands on the compound bow. This is just a regular bow. legendary 3-star bloody, as you saw. If you guys are going to run this build, make sure you keep a weapon that at least does as much damage or more damage than a bloody weapon, okay? My name is NSC Schizo, guys. I hope you guys like this video. It hope it helps you out. It gives you a couple of answers, maybe some of the questions you might have on whether or not you should or should not be building a bow build. If you did, do me a favor, drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. My name's NSC Schizo for Game Grunts, signing out.